Hey everyone, I wanted to put together a quick video for you. And I know right now there's Zoom calls happening at every moment of the day. So I wanted to pre record this and then put it out after. And really, more than anything, check in on everybody. Hope everyone's doing okay being at home right now. This next, I'm going to try and make this a 10-minute video max. I want to answer the 10 questions that I've been receiving all week long in a bit of a more detailed way than my typical quick videos, just to give everyone some peace of mind. And I know a lot of people are having these questions, but they just haven't had an opportunity to reach out because a lot of things are going on. So I'm going to get into each of these questions, go over them, give you the best advice I possibly can for the situation. And if I missed anything or you have any other questions, please just send me a message, okay? So the first question is, are properties still selling? So the answer is yes. The numbers from March, I would estimate sales are going to be down 35 to 40%. And then for all of April, I would estimate about 60 to 75% down in overall sales. And this makes sense, right? Like, people shouldn't be going outside right now, which means a lot of properties aren't going to be selling. New listings have completely stopped for the most part, which is good, which means our market isn't going to be flooded with inventory, which would then be the next question is, are prices going to drop? So right now, new listings have slowed down. Sales are going to slow down. So some properties are still selling. Like, some people got caught in a situation where they bought before this and needed to sell. Otherwise, we're not recommending anybody to go on the market right now. Okay, put it on pause, hold tight. It's not smart unless you absolutely need to. So properties are still selling. However, it's going to go down every single month. Are there now deals for buyers? So I just said, listen, some people need to sell their properties. Sure, maybe, but be a good human based on what's going on right now. Don't go out there looking for opportunities unless it's essential. If you sold your house and you need to buy, yeah, fine. Be smart about it. I wouldn't even go into properties right now. I do everything virtually, but be smart about it. Okay. But don't be predatory. Be a good human right now. Don't go out searching for opportunities to take homes away from people that need to sell them because they got stuck. Right. I think this is a time, throw numbers and business mind and everything out the window. Just be a good human being. And if you can help someone's situation by buying their property, fine. But just don't go out looking for it. Okay. That's my thoughts on that. Okay, are people going to start buying homes without physically seeing them? I've heard of one situation so far, an agent out in Milton who sold a house all virtually. It was the first one I'd actually heard of successfully. It firmed up, it's done. The longer this goes, the more I think this will become the reality for some people. And I always think back to the pre-construction market. Like, people have been buying new homes off floor plans and virtual tours for years and years and years. It's just never been the norm in the resale market. The further this goes, the further the lockdown is in place, because there are some people that have to buy a house and are going to be stuck in situations. So I do think it will happen, but it's certainly not going to become the norm in the next month or so. But there will be some sales that are done completely virtually, or some people are going to make offers on properties conditional on seeing the property at a specific date in the future, which is going to be a date that is safe to actually physically go see it. Okay. Oh, skipped a few here. Okay, when are prices going to start going down, right? I mean, this is the big question. Here's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm only going to discuss the GTA. It's the market I know. It's the market I study. I've been doing real estate every single day in an obsessive way, for anyone that knows me well, since I graduated university. Like, this has been the last 7 years of my life. I look at the numbers. I'm a stats nerd. I'm an investor in real estate. I do more than just sell it, right? We have an inventory issue in Toronto. Okay. There's simply not enough homes. So that's the main question. Are more homes going to become available because of this? No. So there's going to be a few months here where average price will absolutely come down because some people needed to sell. and just get out. But after that, like, people are not giving away properties right now. We've got some listings that are on the market where our sellers got stuck. Like, we're not taking crappy offers. We're not letting that happen, right? We're going to ride out this wave. We're not going to give people bad advice. There's no reason to freak out when things are bad. And one of my favorite quotes ever, if you're bored right now, go back and watch Van Wilder. And he talks about how young Ryan Reynolds talks about how worrying is like a rocking chair, right? You go back and forth, but it doesn't get you anywhere, right? So I think that's something to think about. We have an inventory issue in Toronto. And a long term, I think our prices are going to be fine. I really do. That's not a sales guy talking. That's my gut feeling as someone that owns real estate and invests in real estate myself. We have an inventory issue. Money is very inexpensive right now. We're going to have to keep a close eye on the unemployment rate to see what happens. But the government's doing a lot of good things to help our economy right now, which, by the way, we didn't really have in 2008 or when our market crashed in the early 90s. We didn't have these in place. And immigration, which is on pause right now, when we open up again, there's going to be a flood of people coming in and wanting to buy property. So our market was running at about 2 months of inventory, which is a pretty good seller's market for basically the last 5 years. Even if it doubled in inventory or you took half the buyers away, we'd still be in a balanced market. So I think our prices are going to hold strong. People are not giving homes away. Today is April 1st, and there's been some rumblings online about tenants not paying rent. This is what I come back to. Be a good person. Like, just be a good person right now. Find solutions with each other. It's not a time to be business minded. If you're a tenant and you can't pay rent, call your landlord and explain to them your situation. If you've been directly affected by what's going on in the world, explain it to them. And here's a few kind of scenarios I was thinking. You've given last month's rent. So what you could do is you could pay half your rent for the next 2 months, and the landlord could take from the last month's rent. But remember, this is a deferral in rent. So you're going to have to pay it at some point unless mutually agreed upon, right? So typically nothing is free. You could do that. You could say to your landlord, listen, can you give me a break right now? Let's say hypothetically the carrying cost for the property is $2,000 a month for mortgage, maintenance, and condo fees. But they bought it 10 years ago and they rent it for $2,600. If you're a landlord right now, maybe go to your tenant and say, hey, I'm just going to charge you my cost. I'm not going to make anything additional off you until things cool down. That would just be the human nice thing to do, right? So I know evictions are banned right now, but that doesn't mean we can all just not follow the rules. Like, just be good people. I don't care on which side you're on. This isn't a time for us to argue. It's a time for us to come together as a society and be nice to each other and find a solution. Don't take advantage of it on either side. If you own a property and you're in a situation you have to defer your mortgage, the big 6 banks have said that they will give you up to a 6-month deferral, but it's a case-by-case situation. So first of all, on just going back to the paying rent thing, a lot of banks are not giving mortgage deferrals on mortgages that are not your primary residence. So a lot of people that rent out properties, those are not their primary residence. So it's not as easy as just thinking your landlord can just go get a free mortgage, which, by the way, it's not free. It's a deferral, which you end up paying more interest on and your credit score gets hit, right? It's not that simple. So it's a case by case. Call your bank, have a conversation, figure out your scenario because everyone is different. And there's a lot of cases where they're not giving deferrals unless you've paid down X amount of your interest anyway. So new mortgages, it's going to be very hard to get deferrals on. So have a conversation. If there's anything we can do to help or guide you in the right direction, just reach out and we will help. But don't take this unless you absolutely have to, because you still have to pay this. This is not free. It's just pushing it. You're going to have to pay it at some point. So here's the $1 million question. When will things go back to normal? I have no idea. My gut tells me probably not till September. But what I was thinking, I just want to share this quickly, we live in such a fast-paced world, and I got completely caught up in it. And what's going on right now sucks. It's terrible. People are losing their jobs. People are dying. Like, this is this sucks. I've talked to lots of people much older than me, and no one's ever seen this. Like, we've had hard times financially, economically. We've had terror attacks. We've had terrible things happen, but this hasn't happened in 100 years, right? Like what we're going through with a virus. So I think we have to look at positives. Okay. We have a time now to remember what's actually important, not get caught up in the dumb, stupid stuff that lives rent free in your mind when there's nothing to worry about. We can talk to the people we haven't talked to in a long time, make sure they're doing okay. We can connect with our family. Like, you realize that life's too short for all the dumb crap. And I think this is a good opportunity to take a break, put everything on pause, and remember what's actually important. Will the Toronto market be affected long term? So I want to show you a chart over the last 40 years, just to give everyone kind of a baseline of, yeah, things are going to be okay. Like, we're for all the places that you could be for what's happening right now, to be in Canada and Toronto, to real estate aside, I feel very, very lucky. And if you're watching this, you're probably in similar scenarios as me. Just being in Canada in general right now, like, I feel really, really happy. This is a chart of the past 40 years. Now, in the last 40 years in the Toronto real estate market, we've averaged almost 7%. You can see down here, 7% appreciation, 6.73% per year over 40 years. Not too shabby. Now, in that 40-year period, we've had three things that have happened. And it's funny how things happen almost like clockwork every 8 to 12 years. You can see prices went up almost 40% very quickly in the late 80s. We had a crash in the early 90s. The market didn't really get back to normal till about 1995. See, that's the 0% line. So properties were dropping in value from about 1991 to 1994, and then it got okay again. Then we were going nicely here. We had some great years. This dot here is 2008. So this is the dot that's most close to what I think was happening now. 2008, our prices didn't go down. They actually just stopped. Sales went down, everything paused, but people weren't giving homes away. I think this is a really good indication. And you see what happened right after? You see this line? We went up 7%. Then we went up 10%, 8%, 7%, 5%. Look how good it was, right? Like, it really bounced back. And that's what's very encouraging to me. So through all the ups and all the downs in the Toronto market, because we basically, in the last 40 years, we had the market crash in the early 90s, we had 2008, and we had the second half of 2017 right here. That's when they brought in foreign buyer tax, and the stress test made getting money harder. That was a little dip in the market, but that only lasted for about 6 to 8 months. So to answer, I'm screwing this up already. To answer the question that I was trying to get at is, will we be affected long term? I actually think we're in a pretty safe place. If you had bought a new construction property, you should expect delays. Tridel just announced that they've shut down all their sites right now until further notice. So if properties are being built right now, yeah, expect delays. Obviously, people shouldn't be going outside. It's not safe. It's okay. You will get your property at some point, but expect delays. It's just going to happen. And here's my last question. Like, how's everyone doing? I was thinking, being a business owner, and I have a team of people that we work with, I've been able to talk to people every single day, and we're keeping our spirits high and we're doing okay. But some people work by themselves, or you're sitting at home, or you're in a small space, confined in self-isolation. And mentally, that's going to be very tough on people. So if you need anything, just call me. Call me, set up a time. You can go to my website and click a call. Like, I'm happy to talk to anybody. Just reach out. I hope everyone is doing okay, because I know this is tough. And the longer this goes, it's going to get a bit tougher on everyone. But it is what it is. We can bitch, we can moan, we can complain, or we can understand that this is the new reality for now, and we can find the positives in every single day. And I'll just end it with this. Always, if you're in real estate investing, Don't try to time the market. Okay, so focus on your time in the market, not trying to time the market, right? This is a pretty famous saying. You saw the 40-year chart. If you've been in the market for the last 40 years, you've averaged 7% appreciation, compounding over 40 years that you don't have to pay tax on because it's your principal residence. Find me anything else in life like that, right? Like housing is just historically the best way to build wealth. It's safe. You need somewhere to live, right? So don't try and time things. If you want to buy a house, buy a house. But I would put everything on pause until further notice right now. I hope everyone's doing okay. Thank you for watching. And if you want me to do more of these little kind of update videos on a weekly basis, I am happy to do so. And I would appreciate actually if you give me some advice on what you'd like me to talk about. Have an awesome day. Stay safe, everybody.